So hopefully you went through all of those steps. Now you're going to, over here on the left, click on text box, and let's go with the font size of at least 16 and keep it black. So now that I've turned on text, anywhere I click, it's automatically going to make a text box. So I'm a freshman, so I'm going to put class of 2025. I'm going to add another text box, and I'm going to type out my last name, and I'm going to type out my first name, and I'm going to type it as if it's really my name and not just random stuff. As far as the address, you don't have to use your real address. You can use the school's. That's perfectly fine. You can even use the school's phone number. You don't have to use your own. And your grade. Okay, so part of the reason we're doing this is so you practice lining things up. So anytime I click on the border, the blue border of a text box, I can move it and drag it. So I can click on this text box, I'm going to go to the border, move it, and drag it. So I'm trying to make these things line up so it looks like I spent some time and effort on this. Why are we doing this? Because you might someday have to Someday you might have to use a PDF such as this to fill out a job application. So we want to make sure you know how to make things line up and look good. So from there, go ahead and fill out your class schedule. Again, we're just adding text boxes. Again, if you don't want to type the entire name of the class, that's fine. Whatever class period you have, comp tech. And again, of course, pause the video and keep working on your own. Don't just copy my schedule. Pause the video and keep working on your own. Okay, so I purposely did not do these well. So again, I want to practice lining them up. So I'm clicking on the text boxes and I'm lining them up. Again, either they're all going to be floating in the text box or they're all going to be at the bottom line. However you need to do it, make sure they line up and look good. And again, pause the video as needed. Sorry about that. Okay, once you've done that, undo. Because I have this huge cursor, it doesn't look good. But again, you're just going to line them up and make them look good like you spent some time and effort on this. Then it says, use the highlight tool and highlight the class period you have comp tech. So highlight is over here under markup. I actually prefer this freehand highlighter, and I'm going to pick a green. And see, I can just kind of scribble around to do that. If you don't like the way it works or it comes out funky, hit the undo button. Some people liked the text highlighter better than it's actually looking for text boxes to highlight. You might have some problems kind of playing around with it. If you get it to work the first time, great. But again, depending on how it's working, that's up to you. But again, I do want you to highlight whatever class period you have comp tech. The best way to describe me as a student. So I'm going to go back to a text box, click, and tell me something about you as a student. I am lazy, I am happy, I am sad, I am whatever. A word that your parents would use to describe you. And you can't say child because obviously you're their child. A word my best friend would use to describe me. And again, the catch is just to make things line up and look good on the lines. And when I'm not in school, I like to tell me your hobbies. And last but not least, it says use the shapes tool. Here's the shapes tool. And create a rectangle in the space below. There's a rectangle. Now use the drawing tool. Here's the drawing tool. And draw a picture of a house in the rectangle. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I just want to see what the heck you would come up with. There's a lovely house. And there's the front door. They're on a chimney. This is starting to look like the shapegrams from the other day. If you want to add some color for some clouds, that's fine. If you want to add some grass, that's fine. Again, I just want you to practice scribbling with some of the tools. When you're done, ignore this says down here. When you're done, don't click the turn in button. Don't click the turn in button. Click save. And notice that it hasn't saved anything for the last minute. There are 7 unsaved changes. Click this blue button that says Save Changes Now. Save Changes Now. Don't turn it in. Don't turn it in. Close this tab. Go back to Google Classroom. Now in Google Classroom, click Turn It In. Turn it in. Make sure you're pausing and working on the document